Howdy, folks. Welcome back. Let me X out of some of this stuff and get to our report tonight. If it let me. Alright, let's just come on over here then to our instruments. How's everybody doing tonight as we get set up for everything? A little intro there for opening moments to get people into the room, give them time to get settled in. You probably don't get very many notifications anymore. Plus, it's late at night, so I'll adjust this now. Alright. I got it on this frame right here. While I got it here, let me just zoom in real quick on tonight's object, or today's object, plural objects, because you can see our main one right here and another secondary smaller one right there. We'll leave it kind of tinted out a little bit there. Okay, and that's a few frames deep. I was going to use this for the thumbnail, but we're just going to pull back and get this started. I'm going to get this loop into motion. Here we are, November 10th, 2023. Okay, there's your loop. Let me get this a little bit better there for you. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope you're hanging in there, and hopefully the Lord's giving you courage and strength and fortitude to withstand this brutal assault by the enemy. Alrighty, so let's get this started here. Let it come around to the opening frame. Oh, we just passed it. Okay, opening frame right here. Let's tint this out just a tad bit better. There we go. Then, as we proceed here, you can see we have this big spike right here that we were talking about yesterday, okay, that's still there. We have a slow motion event underway already, and there is a small object in this one. I don't think I need to point it out, but you can see that they've edited out something right here, but right above it is a nice round object. So whatever they deleted here, I don't know, but there's our opening frame with an object already there and painted nicely. I should add. Okay, now as we proceed, you can see it moving out, slow motion here, kind of. Excuse me. We have another little object on the side here. Here comes a full halo CME. Boom. You can see this one over here on the side. This one's exiting the frame. Maybe one more. Let's go back to that one right there. And just kind of zoom in on this other side of the object real quick. So you guys can see this one over here. Okay, nice round object. You can see the little wake coming off of it here. You can see its magnetic field around it, kind of. Alright, so there's that one. Just kind of back out here. Alright, so let's proceed as these both move out of frame. Now note how when this one left, it's taken away that big bright patch there. Notice, we'll back up a little bit here. See how it was really bright right here? So as this little object, this was the one that was causing this this spire the whole time. So we'll go a little bit. See it disappear there? With this CME, it really dissipates a lot. It's still there, but it dissipates a lot. So I believe that that was our object that was kind of causing that spire. Then, as we continue here, something I have never seen before here. And I want you guys to, let me get a good frame of it. That's probably pretty good right there. I'm going to zoom in and we're going to check out how this energy is coming off the sun here and totally looping and going straight up here. It comes out from down here at the sun and just turns and goes straight up here. Let me zoom back out a little bit and we'll back up a few frames and you'll see if we can get it just right. Right there. Look at this, how it comes out from the side of the sun. This region, everything should be going this direction, and it's curving and going way up here because it's responding to our object up here. Do you see it now reaching up to this magnetic field up here? And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put this into motion, and we'll stay zoomed in. And then on the next loop, watch how that line comes out, reaches up right there. Yeah, I've never seen anything come out of this region of the sun and totally reach up. So there's obviously an object here that's affecting the sun. The sun is reacting to it, and you can see it with that bent. I mean, it's just bent at 90 degrees. Right there. Let me back up just a couple. Right there. You can see it coming out at this angle and just turning and going straight up. Okay, so that's a new one too. All right. Now, let me zoom back out just one more. And we'll continue on with this one. Oh, everybody still there? Did I lose you for a second there? All right, here comes another object here. Where's a good shot of it? Right there. There we go. Right here. And then we'll zoom back out of here. Gotta do that to get rid of the thing. And then it moves out of frame. Then we have this blast right here. And those are the closing frames here of this blast right there. Too zoomed in, I think. Let's come on back out right there. So back up a little bit. All right, now let's put it back into motion. Let's get this over a little bit. Pull it down a little bit. There we go. Now, you guys kind of see what's going on there. Even that one up top there that caused the spire for the last couple of days. Totally made the sun emit down here, turn a whole 90 degrees and go straight up. Look at that. Okay, so there's obviously some kind of object there that's causing the sun to react and cause this. There's two of them. There's one out front here, and there's a second little band that are both bent at that 90-degree angle. You know, let's just kind of do this for you guys real more time. See the leading one that's kind of ghostly out front, but the main one's the second one. So let's do it again. Here's the ghostly one, then the main one. All right. So there's that. Now let me back to normal here. All right, let's come on over to Sold Ham tonight. Get this one a little bit better for you guys. Get our X-ray flux zoomed in on here. All right, here we go. So here's today's, right there, the 10th, and we're already a little bit into the 11th. Here's the event that we just saw. A little bit, oh, actually, we haven't seen the 11th yet. This is the tail end right here of what we just saw right here. Okay, this little or sequence right here. All right, and there's more activity here. Let's just see if we can take a peek at what's already going on for the 11th. Okay, it's only a few frames and it doesn't show much. All right. Anyways, back to this one. So you can see we're having more activity already starting on the 11th. Our X flare potential 1%, 80 on there. C, 15 on the M's. Whoops, come here. This absorption event, right there. That's what we're receiving. Just regular sunspots, nothing too bad. Okay, here's an eruption on the sun today. Yesterday we had a filament collapse. Now we had one erupt. So let's just put this up full screen for you here. Give you a little shot of what happened there. Okay, and that's on the Earth-facing side of the sun. So this halo from yesterday, this is the 9th, okay? That's still, they're saying due on the 11th. So we'll watch it. It could be a little bit later. 9th usually translates to the 12th. So we'll see what happens there. Let's come on over and open up this tracker real quick. Let this load up. Come on, tracker, track it. Ooh, right there. So that's another earthbound CME. 2 in a row. One yesterday and one today. All right, so on the 9th, usually coming in on the 12th, and one on the 10th that would translate to the 13th. All right. So, and every day we've had activity, but now we've got the CME actually heading in our direction as well, a back-to-back one, which is not good now that I think about it, because sometimes the first one, the magnetic field will absorb it, weaken, just as the second one's hitting. So the first one sets it up for the second one to hit it while our magnetic field's weak. So let's pray really hard that the timing on these two hitting doesn't do that effect. All right. Sometimes one will catch up to the other and they'll merge and they'll impact all at the same time, both at the same time. But I just showed you. Wait, this. Wait. Come back here. This is showing the 9th. So this is just the same one from the 9th. And I believe this video up here, whoops, let me go back. This is also from the 9th too. We only have one inbound CME. This thing is, yeah, from the 9th. I thought this was a new one from today. My bad. One inbound CME, not two, just this one. But still, it's going to hit us right on the chin, which is not good. Expect to see more auroras, maybe even low latitude auroras again. Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry. That looked to me like it was a new report of a second CME. Why is this backed up? Come on, turkey. All right, so not much to really report on here. Here's your LASCO C3. It doesn't show much. It's just that weak image of the CME. What else is on here I was going to show you? Well, never mind. Over here to the Schumann. Schumann's been looking pretty quiet. If we can get it there, we go. Scoot it up a bit and pull it in. Alright. Yeah, we're pumping along pretty strong right here. We did have a little screech event right there and a couple little bit here. And now if we come out of this, you can see it gets a little weak, but then gains strength again. We have another little screech, it gets weak. Another little pulse, it gets weak, but then we're coming back strong again. But you can see we had a really weak session, a really weak field right there during that time frame, and that was probably about 5 hours ago, 5 or 6 hours ago. If I tilt it back and not too bright and give you the regular color of it, you can see it's pretty weak right in between this little blossom, or this edge and this edge. So there was a little weakness in it today, but we came out of it pretty strong. And when it didn't go all the way down. You can still see there's some green in there, but it got pretty weak in that little stripe right there. Okay, it's after this scraping event right here in front of it that it gets weak, then it recovers again, moves on. So that's looking good. Now come on over to our earthquake report. Nope. I said earthquake report. There we go. And let me get this adjusted for you guys a little bit better. Where did you go? Oh, there we go. Alright, sorry about all this scooting around and adjusting, but I don't have the best setup here. So, anyways, you can see there's no deep quake from today. We did have some yesterday that sent energy into the system. We're talking about energy moving up through this naked zone, and it dumped off this 4.4 there, all right, and this 4.7 there. This seems to be its own independent little event here, so we're going to go ahead and just dive on into this. So here we are at the Baton Sea again, and let's just start with the big one. This was a 6.1, the band to sea, at a depth of 10 there, a 5.3 at a depth of 16, a 5.0 at a depth of 9. All these are shallow. 4.5 over here, 5.6, 4.6, 4.9, and another 4.9. So we had this bigger quake, another magnitude 6 quake in this region again. So the activity in this region is still kind of going off here, and it seems to be kind of independent of everything else. So it's some kind of little event going on down below there. Let's go on up here to Taiwan, please. To Taiwan, to this quake here, we had a 4.7 at a depth of 10 here. And then up here at the peninsula, oh no, this is Japan, sorry. We had a 5.3 at a depth of 108. So there's some of that energy that I was concerned about still for Japan. We had a quake there, but it didn't seem like it was enough. Here's some other energy down at 108. This is a 5.3, so that'd be like a 5.5 at the surface right there. So some energy released here. Might see some more up in here because it seems to have skipped this little fulcrum point. There's a 5.8 there. See, this is all that leftover energy from yesterday. Remember, we had the 4.4 or mid-range 4 to 5 energy expected up through here, and here's a 5.8. So even a little stronger than what I was expecting. There's a 4.8 right there. This one right at the fulcrum point's a 4.6, and then it jumped, came over here and dumped off of 4.5. So there was still 4.5 energy coming in this way. Last night we talked about 4.5 to 5 energy coming in, making it over the hump and hitting the Juan de Fuca. Well, Look what happened today here at the Juan de Fuca. Start with this one. This is a 4.1, so there's your mid-range 4. It's a little diminished because, going through these plates, it might lose a little energy, but there's a 4.1 right there at a depth of 8, okay? So that's a shallow quake. Then as we go in tighter on these ones right here, this is another 4.1. Okay, so we had two 4.1s. That's combined energy right there. That's that mid-range 4 energy coming in, because we also got other ones that backed it up, a 2.8 and a 2.9. So there's that mid-range 4 energy coming in, hitting the Juan de Fuca. It didn't pop off a 5. It spread out into a couple of, really low 4 quakes. There was even some up here, 3.1 at a depth of 29 here off of the coast of Oregon. Okay, and it's not on the Juan de Fuca plate. It's actually on the Pacific side plate. It's on the Pacific plate instead of the Juan de Fuca. So that pressure came down, and it didn't snap anything in here, but it did set something off in this weak zone. See this light blue, like plateau area? That's still inundated with water and super saturated, so it's loose sand, and there's your 3.1 down below that. Let's even go here because we had this in Nevada's nothing really, just 2.6, and what's the other one? Come on, give me the other one. And a 4.3. All right. There's a little volcanic site out there that's been rumbling for a while. What I want to talk about here is this in Kansas. Okay, this is a 4.0 here in Kansas. Now we had this 5 the other day here in Texas down here. Now we're having energy, 4.0 energy, just like Dutch was saying. It comes down this. It comes down the mountain range here, rounds off at Texas, goes up a little bit. Well, here it is, rounding off Texas, going up, and dumping off that 4 energy right there. That's a 4. So this energy, he would tell you, has made it down, come up over the, what's this called? I can't even think right now. I haven't had rest in a while. We'll get to that later. Right now, let's keep going. This is 5 here in Cuba, or the Dominican Republic here. All right, so watch also for Haiti and Jamaica. Sometimes even Cuba, sometimes they get big quakes out here. All right, that's a 5 releasing energy, so that's good. But that has the potential to have a big quake in this region as well. Nothing there in the Cocos, a bunch down here in South America. This is all the energy from yesterday pushed over. There's a 5.1 there. There's your 4.5. There's your 4.2. There's a 4.4 and another 4.4. Okay, so a lot of that energy pushed straight on over and dumped off all these quakes here in South America. Okay, now back over to this side of the chain. Okay, we had this quake here. It's been skipping the fulcrum point a lot lately. Okay, we had this little quake down here. I think we checked this one already. Yeah, 4.4. So we have that mid-range 4 energy still creeping up through here. It jumped the fulcrum point, and like I was saying, probably dump off a couple of quakes here. So here we go with the 4.0 at a depth of 167 and a 4.5 at a depth of 10. So a couple of mid-range 4s. This is a little deeper, so it's more than a 4. It's like a 4.12 or something. Okay, so there's your mid-range 4 energy dumping off at the fulcrum point there. Came on over and hit good old Iran with a 5.2. So that energy was 5 energy. It dumped off 2 little, quakes here. The combined energy there could be the 5 potential because it made a 5.2 here in Iran. So then we're talking about Italy and Greece. Watch out there. Here's Greece with a 4.2. We still see Italy naked right here. Watch this area and this for mid-range 4 to 5, okay? Because you see this 5.2 back here. That potential for a 5 is in the region, okay? And there's nothing gone off here. So watch out along Italy, along this, even here at the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. It should reach there and dump off something. Let's come up to Iceland now and talk about this. Everybody's evacuating. They're getting ready for this volcano to go off, and I agree. It looks like it's about to go off. We got a 5.0 here to depth of 10, a 5.1 at a depth of 10, 4.7, 4.6, 4.7, 4.8, 4.9, 4.8. So you can see 4.6, 4.7, and 4.5. Mid-range to high 4s all around here, even a 5. Okay, and a lot of pressure gets released here on this mid-Atlantic ridge, okay? And this seems to be the weak spot along the ridge where it's releasing the most energy. So we're seeing quake swarms, thousands of quakes coming out of this area, so watch for that volcano. This could, something, if it goes off big and puts a huge ash cloud up, that could disrupt travel from the across the Atlantic, because they go in an arc over like this, and if it gets in the way. So there's that potential there. Rare quake over here in Africa. Let's go take a look at 4.8 in Ethiopia. So even this mid-range 4 to 5 energy has made it into Africa too. Okay. So it's hitting all over the place. Even up here, we got this quake way up here in Bering Strait, 3.6. It's not much, but it's just an odd place. It's one of those diverse quakes, Okay, so moving on. Here's our SO2. And what I'd like to just kind of say right here is congratulations on your prayers, because this is diminishing. You guys are doing a good job here, really. It doesn't look like it, but this still bleeding out here, but not as bad. Let me give you an example. Look at this big old bruise on the face of the earth right there. Okay, there's 2 of them, but one's really dark. Okay, guess who that is? Yeah. And they're in hot water. They got a lot of stuff leaking out. This gas could kill people in their sleep and stuff too. In high concentrations, it could choke people out, and they wouldn't even know. It's almost like carbon monoxide poisoning. You take too much of this in, and it'll, poison you. But they're in hot water. India is not as dark, but they got a lot of coming up in their region too. All these sporadic little plumes up here in Russia. See all these? These are all individual sites, and the wind catches them. You can see the streaks where the wind's been taking this gas and streaking it around. Then you come over to us, and we're looking a lot better. It used to be, down the country this way, and now this has actually reached deeper in here. It's diminishing more in this region. It's reaching, the lightening up is reaching deeper this way, it seems. Now, that could be because of a passage of an object, or, absorption from the sun. The earth breathes, kind of exhales and inhales with this pressure, so when the pressure builds up, it comes out, and then once it's relieved, the sulfur diminishes. Okay. The other thing I wanted to do was, where to go? To our polar vortex. Let me put the wind back in there. Okay, so just to give you a reference, there's America. All right, and here's our well-established polar vortex now. All right, before it had a sub-vortex that was keeping it from being totally circular, but now we're deeper into the transition of the season, and this is gaining strength, more organized. It has a good fetch or good feed into it. See this feed coming in right here? Coming in right here into this. So you can see that we have a well-established polar vortex now, and it's starting to gain strength, and it has a feed coming off of it, like a not subtropical, but the northern hemisphere is all starting to feed together into this. All right, let me pull back. That was a little too close in. All right, there we go. Now let's take a peek at the bottom of the planet. Now look how weak theirs is compared to theirs. See, theirs is diminishing. In fact, you can see the other vortex has really kind of gone way out like this, all right? So there is another vortex that's even bigger. It's not as strong, but it is bigger than the main vortex, and it's diminishing. So they're going into summer as we're going into winter. And I want you guys to think about something here. If they're going into summer down here, right, and it's going to heat up in this region, let's say it heats up in this region right here where the big ice shelf is that's standing on a thread of ice. It's like literally like a margarita glass with a really thin glass stem and a whole continent balancing on that one ice stem. So when it warms up down there, that stem's probably going to melt, and when that thing hits the ocean, it's going to displace a lot of water, and everybody along every coast will be affected. I think you guys know what to do. Maybe get away from the coasts. Okay? Even if we get a meteor strike in the water, it'll still affect the coastline around the world. So I hate to break it to you guys, but if you live right along the coast like that, you might want to reconsider, because all kinds of water events, an earthquake, a landslide underwater could cause a tsunami. There's all kinds of events that could happen underwater that would send water towards the coastline. We know about this huge ice shelf down here. The size of it, when it goes and it splashes in, it's going to displace so much water that it's going to ruin the coastlines around the world. Okay? And they're going into their summer. The thing lasted throughout the course of the winter. It didn't collapse because it was nice and cold, but as their summer proceeds, and it, this thermal heating from down below continues to melt ice from the bottom up, that stem is going to eventually fail, and it won't hold up that structure anymore. Okay. Moving on now. Let's get over to our forecast. You guys are like, you're taking too long, Brian, to get to the spiritual report. Come on. Can we please have this thing off of here, Lord? Come on. Bear with me for a second. There it goes. It's trying to jam up on me. Try it again. You got one too many tabs open. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and just play it while we got it, and let this loop play for a minute while I get situated and ready for tonight's weather report. So we have the inbound energy all 3 days, okay? And I was telling you before that even though our weather forecast for America here, doesn't look too, well, now that I say that, this huge storm comes across, but luckily we've been getting spared a lot, and you saw what happened to Saudi Arabia there in the opening, okay? And all kinds of countries. I should show you this one. Well, it's just their channel, it just one day ago it was Saudi Arabia. 2 days ago it was China with a snowstorm. 3 days ago it was Turkey. 4 days ago it was somewhere else. 5 days ago it was just this huge list of every country just getting bombarded day after day after day after day with cars going down the streets, just like I showed you. Every day, some country, there are cars being washed away down the streets. Okay, enough of that. Let's get into this now. I'll let it finish the loop here and we'll catch it at the beginning. Oh my gosh. Maybe I should have just backed up from there. Alright, here we go. Current conditions. Let me pull this up a little bit better so you guys can see the country. Timestamps. Alright, current conditions right now, November 10th, the nighttime of November 10th, we have this storm approaching the Puget Sound area, Seattle, British Columbia area, okay? And then as this thing drives into the country through the morning of the 11th into the noontime, the end of convection, and then the nighttime, it moves in, kind of dissipates. It's still cold air mass over here, though. Nice and clear. We have a little bit of moisture from down there. But as we go into the 12th, there's the noontime. There's the end of convection. Now down here at the tip of Texas, as well as another storm making landfall here on the west coast. Then the nighttime of the 12th, it blossoms here, intensifies. This drives deeper. This is the morning of the 13th. The noontime. Now we have this big intense area down here off the coast of Texas and Louisiana here, driving towards the land here, and it's going to make landfall right there at the end of convection on the 13th. Now we know we had energy coming off on the 10th, showed you today. It will contribute to this storm here, intensifying it, especially around the end of convection. So watch out, Louisiana. On the 13th, at sundown, at the end of convection, these storms intensify and make landfall. You're going to have high winds, flooding, possible water spouts making landfall, okay, and tornadoes. So take heed. And then it drives up into the interior at the nighttime, still there, intensifies even into the morning of the 14th. Into Mississippi and Alabama by the noontime, and then at the end of convection, it's here at the panhandle of Florida up into Alabama. Now, we saw a little bit of activity already coming off on the 11th. That would translate to the 14th. This is the morning of the 14th. Or no, this is the end of convection, I'm sorry, on the 14th. So this has the potential to intensify as well. Same with this storm coming on shore here and the storm that hit up here earlier. Now after this thing moves in, that's the nighttime of the 14th, goes into Georgia. That might even be more intense as it crosses Florida, Alabama, and up into Georgia there. It's going to be a lot of rain, okay? A lot of flash flooding. So you guys that got creeks in your yards, get prepared. This shows severe weather on the coast. So this could, as it makes landfall, could possibly have water spouts making landfall on the coast of California. Possibly. Because this model is not taking into consideration the added energy. So that's the morning of the 15th right there, getting to the noontime. That's the end of convection on the 15th with this offshore flow coming in here to Georgia and South Carolina. That's the noontime. Whoops, that was the nighttime. This is the morning of the 16th. That's the noontime of the 16th. End of convection on the 16th. Here again, South Carolina. All right, there we go. It's the night of the 16th. This big thing up here in Canada wrapping up this big low up here. We'll watch that too. This low coming into Southern California here. Going to leave some water flooding in the hills there. Burn scars, could see possible mudslides in that area. Now this is the morning of the noontime of the 17th. So let's back up a frame. That's the morning of the 17th right there, moving into the noontime of the 17th, the end of convection. This thing is huge right here. So a lot of heavy rain there at the end of convection on the 17th. Then into the nighttime, the morning of the 18th. Look how this flares up right here off the coast. Now this is offshore, but if it shifts, if this thing shifts, it slows down by a little bit, that'll be pulled back. So even though it's offshore, that potential is very close to the East Coast right there. The morning of the 18th, you see it go up into Maine right there. And you see this down below here. This low and this thing are really contributing to that monster in the middle there. All right, and then it goes offshore in the by the end of convection there on the 18th. So that was quite a series right there. Watches these two air masses, this one and this one down here, kind of combine right about here. That's the night of the 17th into the morning of the 18th. And then up into Maine by the noontime. Okay. This is getting further out there where we don't know what's coming off the sun, but it's just showing pretty clear. We're going to have a big cold air mass collide. It'll be warm for a little while, but then we're going to have this huge cold air mass come into the country. You can see up here, up in British Columbia, there's another storm moving in up there. This is November 20th. It comes together here in the central part by convection right here on the 20th. And then look how this thing just winds up like a big old land hurricane. That's on the 21st. So we'll back up, right? That's, boy, look at this thing. So from this point right here, this is November 20th at the end of convection, the sundown of November 20th. Then as we go into the nighttime of the 20th, you see how this thing has an arm here and an arm there. It looks like almost a hurricane type structure. Okay, you see this low, these tight millibars. It's going to be super windy on the backside of this through Missouri, Illinois, Arkansas, up into Iowa. This thing is going to pack a lot of winds. You see how tight it is in there. A lot of snow on the backside, a lot of rain on the front side. This could have the potential for some tornadoes too because of the vortex structure of it. So, the end of convection, the 20th, right there. Blossoming at nighttime on the 20th into the morning of the 21st right here with all this snow on the backside right here, okay? We're talking down to Tennessee, even into Alabama. Kentucky, Arkansas, oh no, not Arkansas, Illinois, Michigan, all the way up into Ontario there, okay? There's the morning, or the noon time of the 21st, so the morning, noon, and then the end of convection right there. You see how these intense thunderstorms have popped up right here? This is no joke. This is headed right for like Washington, D.C., New York City, Long Island area. The end of convection on the 21st. Okay? So it's going to be extremely important to find out what comes off the sun on the 18th, 3 days prior to the 21st. If we have a good event that comes off the sun that adds intensification to this already intense storm, that will not be good. Okay, that's the nighttime of the 21st. Just slamming Maine, Massachusetts, Vermont. Goes up. That's the morning of the 22nd. The noontime, end of convection. And then moves offshore by the night of the 22nd. Then we get into the 23rd, not much. There's the 24th. This icing event right here is this cold air mass moves in. Please, come on, this thing. All right. Where were we? Right here on the 20th. 23rd. All right. So right here, this is the noon time of the 24th. This cold air mass pushes down. Here's the warm air right here. This is the boundary line right here on the 24th. Excuse me. You can see on the snow on the backside is mixing with this warm, moist air, and there's an icing event right there in Missouri on by the end of convection on the 24th. Then it's still there into the nighttime hours with intense weather here through Arkansas. Then the icing event jumps kind of north up here to New York. All right, with snow back behind it going to Indiana, all the way rain down through Tennessee, all the intense thunderstorms down here in Louisiana and Mississippi on the 25th. That's the morning of the 25th, the noontime, the end of convection, nighttime, and there's the 26th, and that was it. So let me go ahead and put this loop back into motion there. Yeah, this big monster storm that grows here, and then later on in this loop here, watch out for that storm right there. And then this one right here, when it winds up and punches the East Coast, watch out for that, baby. All right? So we got two big storms heading towards the East Coast that everybody need to kind of watch out for. And just repeating storms up here in the Northwest. Impulse after impulse after impulse coming in there. Okay? So that is the end of that. Oops, and I X'd out of my... It's going to be my spiritual report, so we'll just have to reload it. Alrighty. Come over here and get this set up and get something to drink. Now, tonight's title is kind of important because I was sent to warn you about something. And if you couldn't tell, I've been warning you about all kinds of things all the time on this channel. So let's see, get this. Alright. Can you see this face in the clouds here? Let me, you know what, let's go bigger screen. There we go. Pull back a little bit. Alright. There's an eye here, big old nose. Here's the upper lip and the lower lip, and he's blowing. You can see this pointed ear coming out over here. The horns going up. Okay. What I'm trying to warn you is that the demonic realm is real. The devil is real. All the spiritual realm is real, and here it is taking form in our clouds, all right? Not only does Jesus form in the clouds, but also the devil, all right? And here is a sign of his presence, okay? And I don't like to glorify him and give him too much attention, all right? But it's important that you know that he exists, all right? And this is an image from a storm that I caught. And funny thing about this image here, while I was taking these pictures, a cop came up to me and said, I got a report of a guy taking pictures of the clouds. And I go, yeah? He goes, well, what are you doing? I said, taking pictures of the clouds. He goes, well, why? What's up there? And I told him, if I told you, you wouldn't believe me. And he took a look up at this face, and this thing kind of growled at him. And he just didn't even notice. I thought he was going to pull his gun and start shooting at the sky. But he didn't even notice. And he goes, oh, looks like there's a storm coming. And I said, yeah, buddy, there's a storm coming, all right. All right. Now, we're going to take this down because it's not the prettiest picture to look at. But I'm trying to warn you. I deal with this realm all the time. It attacks me because, well, it attacks me, and it's just important that you guys know, all right? Now, let's pull back out of that ugly face and get to a much better image. And as you can tell, the Bible is real. These images are real. The fact that this happened on Easter should just stagger you, should shock you. It shocked me. It almost gave me like not PTSD, but like a traumatic event, not a disorder, but just a new perspective on things. You know what I'm saying? Okay, hopefully you guys can see that little image right there. I'm going to just keep showing that one every time until we get it through your skulls, okay? Trust me, you're going to need this. You're going to be clinging to this image here pretty soon when everything goes really bad. Alright, let me pull out my reading here for tonight. Something special for you guys tonight. Let's see. Well, here we go. Let me get this a little bit better. All right. I want you to comfort others with the comfort you have received from me. No matter what circumstances you are enduring, my presence and comfort are sufficient for your needs. As a Christian, everything you endure has meaning and purpose. Suffering can build your character and prepare you to help others who are struggling. So talk freely with me about the difficulties in your life and ask me to use them for my purpose. Of course, you can seek relief from hardship, but be careful not to overlook the blessings hidden in it. When you draw closer to me during tough times, seeking my help, you grow in maturity and wisdom. This equips you to help others as they endure adversity. Your empathy for the hurting people will spill over into their lives. You will find that you are most effective at comforting those who are enduring trials you've already been through. You can grow in peacefulness through the discipline of hardship. Though it is painful at the time, later it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness. Trust me to lead you step by step through this day. I provide sufficient light for only one day at a time. If you try to look into the future, you will find yourself peering into darkness. My face shines upon you only in the present. This is where you find my unfailing, unquenchable love. My love for you is even stronger than the bond between a mother and her baby. Though she may forget the baby at her breast, I will not forget you. You are so precious to me that I have engraved you on the palm of my hands. Forgetting you is out of the question. I want you to really come to know, practically through experience, my love, which far surpasses mere knowledge. The Holy Spirit, who lives in your innermost being, will help you. Ask him to fill you up completely with my fullness so that you may have the richest measure of the divine presence, becoming a body wholly filled and flooded with me. Thus you can experience my love in full measure. Hopefully that works. I pray that it sinks into your guys' soul and you guys hold on to that for dear life. It's going to get rough and things are going to get weird. And it's a battle for your mind, okay? He knows what he's doing. He's tricky. He likes to get people divided. And I'd like to get people united, all right? So there is a banner we can unite under right here. And you can't go wrong, all right? So I keep showing you this stuff, you guys, because this is a real event. It was excruciatingly painful to take these 700 some odd pictures that I took of this event and then to get them home, compress each image, put them in the filter, run the filter so they pop out a little bit better, and then compress them and put them into this flip book so I could show you this turning into the lion's face. In fact, you know what? Before we leave here tonight, let's just do this real quick. It's important you guys see this lion face too. Now we're seeing a more round, like lion type face with the nose right here. Here's an eye coming out here, an eye going that way. Here's its mouth slit, the chin going down here. So this round face right here with a crown still above it. Now I'm going to go through and show you the flip book where it changes from Jesus to this lion face. Okay, now we're here at this image right here. This is a flip book of about maybe 15 or 20 of those pictures. All right. There's your Lord and Savior, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, hanging out in the clouds on Easter. That should just make you rejoice right there and jump for joy because it's all real. Your faith is about to pay off here in ways that you can't even imagine. And just prepare to start seeing stuff like this unfold in the sky because it's already happening. This event is 3 years old. Okay? That should shock you too. You would expect to see something like this on the very last day, right? No, this already happened 3 years ago on Easter of 2020. So he's been here this whole time. Alright, so one last picture of this one right there. It's a little bit bigger. Alright, that way you guys sleep well at night, okay? And you'll understand why everything is happening the way it is. This is all... They're even actually helping prophecy come true. They know that this is happening. See, these are all the pictures I took up here. And there was tons more. That was like only a small sample of all the pictures I took. There's probably 700 to 1,000 pictures I took that day. Okay, so there you go. Seek peace in this. Hopefully gives you courage. Know that your words have power. Your prayers have power. You know, tell these guys they have no power over you. You belong to the Lord. They're just a bunch of criminals. You are the elite. They're just the criminal elite. And you guys are very special to know this. There's not everybody out there in YouTube land or around the world sees this channel and has seen this image and understands what's going on. Okay, it's like a blessing that he gave us this image here. It's like an early Christmas gift to let you know, hey, it's real, it's going down, and here he is. He said, you know, when you see these signs, everybody was asking, whoa, what's going to be a sign you're coming? What's going to be the sign? And he's like, well, you'll see the earthquakes, you'll see wars, and there'll be rumors of wars, you'll see pestilences, you'll see all this stuff. And when you do, look up, you'll see me coming in the clouds. Well, I saw all that stuff, and I looked up, and ta-da, caught him in the clouds. All right? There we go. All right, I think that's it for tonight. I gotta do a few more things and then hit the sack here because it's getting late. Thanks y'all for coming. Hang in there. Keep praying for each other. Pray for each other's endurance. Pray for the strength from the Lord. Get into the Word. Understand who He is. You know, it's about a relationship with Him. It's not religion. It's about a relationship with Him. Don't let this religious war divide you guys. Don't take one side over the other. You don't even know the full history of everything that happened there. And when you do see the full history, you're going to be disgusted at a bunch of immature egomaniacs that act like a bunch of high school kids on on the playground picking fights with each other. We're all brothers here on this rock. There's no other place to live out there in space. We're like stranded on this desert island together. We better learn to get along. We got bigger issues coming our way that we need to team up and band together. You're not going to stand a chance if you're going to try to take this on solo. The whole world, the whole devastation, everything. No. So do the best you can. Patch up them broken relationships. Try to make amends. Treat people right. Random acts of kindness. Preparing. I know there's a lot of preppers that are, prepping. Well, prepare spiritually as well, okay? Prepare spiritually as well, because what good is a bunch of food and batteries and supplies and generators when you've lost your mind and you can't even use them or fire them up or even contemplate how to, use them properly because you've lost your mind. All right, so this is your anchor right here. Hold on to it tightly, you guys. That's it for tonight. I love you all. God bless you all. I miss you all. And until my next live stream, I'll be back. I'm already back. Can't you tell?